So, perfect. So, welcome everybody to this evening's training. What we have here as a webinar. I'm highly excited about the call we have tonight because it's actually a very important subject. Our founder, Mark Hughes, he was always big in every training I went to, and he himself was there. He was talking about the follow-up, how important the customer service is, how important it is. There's a penny is actually in the sales, there's a fortune in the follow-up, was always Jim Rohn saying. And therefore, it's very important to understand what is around that subject of follow-up. So it's one thing, and I know everybody who is brand new is highly excited about making a sale, but it's far more important to get the results. Herbalife people are result-driven. And the lady who we have tonight on the call, she's very into building relationships, and this is part of the follow-up. So I'm actually glad that she could take time for tonight's call and is here with us. She has lots of customers. She has members in her team who she teaches also very well to look after their customers. And because of her skills and life skills and background in psychology, I think she's absolutely the right one to share with us her thoughts tonight about how she deals with her customer, how she builds that long-lasting relationship with the customers, not just for selling a product, basically building really that relationship with the customer. So without any further ado, over to our international supervisor all the way from Milnerton, Karen Little. Yay!
Okay, so always thank you very much for the opportunity. You may go to the first slide. Okay, so I thought we'd start tonight with a reflection question. You know, I'm all about reflection because I think our content comes from reflecting. So the question is, are we salespeople? And the reason I asked this question, because it was the very reason that actually prevented me from joining Herbalife. When my coach said, I think you have great potential as a coach, I said, I can't sell a product, I can't sell anything, I don't have a salesperson personality. So this month I've been in the business for 1 year, and I've realized that our role is, the next slide, that we are actually relationship builders, that we are in a helping relationship, that we are in a helping profession. And this is right up my alley because that's exactly what I love to do. And so we need to understand if we are in a helping relationship, and you might say to me, what does this have to do with follow-up? So the first part of this webinar is very important because I believe that in order to follow up, we need to lay a very solid foundation. Otherwise, you just go straight to follow up. But where are you following up from? You know, what is that foundation that you've built in order to have follow up? So our role in this helping relationship is that we offer people help in the following areas. So physical, I want to lose weight. Economical, I want to have an extra income. I want to make a serious level income. And personal development. So we also are helping people develop themselves as human beings. Next slide, please. Okay. So the key principle that I've learned in this helping relationship is the art of listening. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. Most people listen with the intent to reply. So when we listen with the intent to reply, we become so focused on what am I going to say? How am I going to respond? We're focusing on the words that we are going to say, and we're missing out on the words that our client is saying. Because the words that they are saying, their non-verbal language, even their expressions on their faces, how they're sitting, what their face does when they're speaking the words are all very important content, which helps us to understand who they are. They are giving you their story. And so it's very important to understand so that we understand how to help them in those 3 areas that I've just mentioned before. Next slide, please. And there are 3 characteristics of this helping relationship. And this is something very critical from foundational phase of that very first meeting right through to follow up. So there's this thing called genuineness and authenticity. Now, we must never underestimate our client's ability to feel who we are. So in order for them to trust you with their health goals, they need to feel that you are genuine, that you are sincere, that you are not, I want to make a sale, but that you genuinely care about their health, that you're not pretending to care. The other principle is this unconditional acceptance. We meet people all the time and we don't agree with their lifestyle, but we convey an attitude that I accept you without judgment. So your client needs to feel safe with you, that they can trust you. And this is all part of those building blocks of building trust. And trust is a key thing in building a relationship. Then there's this thing called empathy. Now, empathy must not be confused with sympathy. Sympathy says, I feel sorry for you, and off you go. Empathy says, I understand how you feel. I can just imagine, but I don't feel sorry for you. I'm going to come to a relationship where I'm going to empower you. And your client needs to feel understood in order for you to build that relationship up through to follow up and then into a long-lasting relationship. So I reiterate again, it's very important how we view our role as helpers and how we view our clients impacts how we follow up. So this wonderful quote that says, when you follow up with people, you're nurturing those relationships. Think of it as watering seeds. So in that first meeting, that first encounter, this relationship is a seed. And in order for it to grow from, you can just go back here, in order for it to grow from this trial pack, that assessment stage, you need to display understanding, you need to display genuineness, you need to display empathy, so that you are nurturing this relationship. So I hope you understand now. Don't go straight to follow up, how was your shake? It is very important that this person trusts you, because I cannot tell you how many conversations I have over WhatsApp and the person is very hesitant, very distant. But once we have a face-to-face and I display these characteristics, I immediately sense this warmth, this trusting. Next slide, please. I get very excited. So I thought we talk about follow-up, but what does follow-up actually mean? It is a continuation of something that has already been started and done. So your something that has already been started could be your first assessment. It could be the person that you met in the mall that says, how do you lose weight when they're looking at your badge. It could be the person that you've been referred to. It could be someone that responds on Facebook. So it is a continuation of that very, very first encounter. So we understand what follow-up. So how does this continuation look? Next slide, please. You can go to the next one. Okay, bravo. So that first meeting is very, very important. We see it in my profession as we're gathering the data. We're gathering the person's story. We're gathering the puzzle pieces so that we understand. I can't help you if I don't understand you. I got goosebumps saying that. So for me, some of the important questions in this very first encounter is, why have you decided now at this time to make this change in your health or in your finances? Why weight loss? Why do you feel, why more energy? And then how would these changes make a difference in your life? And all of this data, of this information creates for you an understanding of the client's story. It builds the relationship. It creates that emotional connection. So I don't immediately go to assessment. This part is so critical for me, because I need to understand who I am helping and how can I be the most effective helper for your context, because every person needs to be helped in a very different way. We don't have a template for every single person that we meet. And oh, I want to say the why. The why is so important, because often along the journey, people become discouraged. And I then remember their why, and I remind them of their why. So if you have somebody who wants to lose weight for a cruise, you know, during the challenge, you send them a picture of that cruise or of that holiday destination or of that bather, so they understand, man, this coach really does care. Next slide, please. So for me, and tonight I'm really just sharing how I do things. So during the first meeting, if it's possible, I like to make a sample shake and a sample tea, because there's that immediate connection to the product. And often people can tell you immediately, I don't like this. I prefer the tea plain. I don't like it with the aloe, or I don't like milk. And you can actually then immediately address those issues that come up in that very first assessment. And it helps with the follow-up of those product questions later on. An example, on Saturday, Joel and I did a shake party. And before we did the presentation, the lady said, we are not purchasing. And I said, that's quite okay. We are here merely just to present the opportunity to you. You're under no obligation to purchase anything. I made the family tea and we made them shakes. Lady then said to Joel, can I have 4 trial packs now? So there's that immediate connection, and I find that this often works much better than when I'm not making that sample product. So they understand when they go home that this is kind of how it should kind of taste. So follow-up's already happening from that first encounter. Next slide, please. Okay, so during the first meeting, we all have very different ways of doing things. You have the Tanita if you have one. I do a tape measure, which measures centimeters. And sometimes people may be discouraged that, you know, they didn't quite get the result that they want. And so how do I address that? I say to them, the knowledge that you have now, knowledge is power. And now that you know how to take the steps to change those results. I remember having a girl who, it was at the fit camp when you still ran a fit camp, and she was in tears when she saw her age, her real age. And I encouraged her, and she went on to become the fit camp champ for that month. And then, of course, you share result stories of people who have traveled a very similar journey, so that they are then encouraged rather than discouraged. This is what I like to do on the challenge, is take out an item of clothing that you would like to fit into comfortably and hang it up in the room and create that excitement for them. And again, this impacts how the questions that we ask during follow-up. Okay, you can go forward. So at the end of the first meeting, very, very important, is set the dates for the very next follow-up. And it's important here to ask, what is your preference of follow-up? Do you prefer WhatsApp? Do you prefer an SMS? Don't you want to be bugged during the day? What time of day is best to for me to follow up with you? And again, that kind of consideration is very important for the client. So you are again putting yourself in the client's context. I understand your situation. You're very, very busy. This is a good time to call you. Next slide, please. Oh, why am I coughing? Okay, so again, something I do that after my first meeting, I have that again, a follow-up. So these are all forms of follow-up. It begins immediately. I send a message on the same day of our first encounter. And this is just some sample words, which says, Dear Mary, thank you for taking the time today to share your story. I applaud you for taking the first steps towards increasing your energy, and I understand how important it is for you to have more energy to play with your children. I'm excited to help you reach your health goals. So what that says is I'm using Mary's words. She's told me she wants more energy for her children, emotional connection, relationship, understanding, empathy. I'm not being fake. Next slide, please. Okay, so then there's the follow-up during the 3 and the 6-day challenge. So what I do is I create a chat and I post what a typical day would look like. So from the minute I wake up in the morning, what I'm drinking, what I'm eating, right through the day. And then questions such as, did you enjoy your shake? And if so, why did you enjoy it? And if not, why? How did you mix your shake? How's the water intake coming along? And if they don't like water plain, then advise on ways to flavor water. I send pictures of water that's been flavored. What was your snack today? What was your dinner? How are your energy levels? How are you feeling? And always refer back to this assessment form because that's the information that they've given you. Refer back to your notes. So if Mary said to you, it's energy I want, those are the kind of follow-up questions you're going to be using. And then very important, gently correct them. Because often people do the exact opposite of what you've told them. So I would say that looks amazing, but perhaps try green apple next time. It has more fiber, which is perfect for your weight loss. So whatever they post or whatever they do, acknowledge it in a positive while gently correcting. Okay, so you don't come across as a teacher. Next slide, please. Okay. Then follow up after the 3 and 6-day challenge. So again, use the information that you got from that first meeting. How do you feel now? Again, often there's not a numerical result, but there's a feeling result. Example, I'm happier, I'm energized, I feel better about myself. Many people come to me and say, well, my relationship with my children or my husband. So you reference that and you say, how's the relationship now? And I find it's those emotional results that really make, because we can drop centimeters, that's just a matter of time. We can drop kilograms, that's just a matter of time. But those feeling results that happen instant, those are the things that people really, really connect with. And then, of course, take the follow-up measurements and celebrate even the smallest result. If they're disappointed with 1 centimeter, you carry on as if it's the biggest. And then with your client's permission, acknowledge the results on WhatsApp group or Facebook. And I also give a little prize for the biggest user. Next slide, please. Okay, so for me, I think in our world, we've been conditioned to believe that something positive needs to be something big. That if it's not a big change, then it's not positive. No, so positive anything is better than negative nothing. So acknowledge every single positive step towards change that your client is making. The things to remember during follow-up. Connect with your client in ways that they prefer, not in ways that you prefer. Do not come across as authoritarian. So that means that you're not coming across as a dictator, as a teacher, but more as a guide. Don't be so results-driven or sales-driven, because often when you come across as you have to do it this way or you have to order this, that sends the message that we are so profit-driven. Be flexible. Be flexible in how you deal with your client. Consider your client's budget, their personal challenges. Remember all that information that you gathered right in the beginning. For example, they cannot afford brown rice, then advise to eat less white rice. And right in the beginning, I made the mistake of saying it's got to be that or it's wrong. So now people say to me, well, I can't afford brown bread. Okay, then instead of those 4 slices of white bread, have 2. And I always say to them, Rome was not built in a day. Let's make small changes. Congratulate them for every small step in the right direction. For example, if they've only managed 1.5 liters of water, make a huge fuss. Wow, That's more than you've ever had. Let's try for 2 liters of water tomorrow. And what I do daily is I send inspirational quotes to inspire them along the journey. And I try to find quotes that match where they are, match their journey. So someone would say to me, oh, I give up easily. So I send a quote that is related to where they are at. So very important, ask open-ended questions. And open-ended is designed to encourage a full, meaningful answer using the subject's own knowledge and belief. It is the opposite of a closed-ended question, which encourages a short or single word. So open-ended questions ignite responses that really bring meaning. So, do you enjoy your shake? That's closed-ended, yes. How did you mix your shake today and how did it taste? I added berries, yogurt, and it tastes amazing. So always make sure that when you're asking a question that it doesn't emit a yes-no answer, because that's not meaningful at all. The things to remember during follow-up that, dizziness, headaches, assure your client that if this does come up, these are normal detox signs. And it shows that the program is working and advise them to unwater. I don't preempt these symptoms, so I wouldn't mention them in that first encounter, because often there's this thing in psychology that when you plant a seed of something, then it naturally manifests in someone's life. And be open to negative feedback. So not all the time is your client going to give you a positive response. I've gotten already, I hate the shake. Offer to go to their home and make them a great shake. And if that doesn't work, know that you've done your best. Some people just don't like the shake. I've had a lady say to me, I prefer my eggs and my bacon every morning. That's okay. Don't take it personally. Our goal is to find those people who actually love our lifestyle. And then the upgraded slide. And this usually happens after that follow-up meeting, after a 3-day or after a 6-day. So I present them with these 3 options and you explain each option to them. And often the first thing they do is $392.50. That's a lot of money. And I say, compared to what? And then I say, well, how much does your coffee cost? I pay 22 Rand for a coffee at Vida Cafe. And your muffin or your croissant, so you're paying about 40 Rand. And then I do the maths for them. 392.50 divided by 21 gives you 18 Rand 70. And you are getting all the nutrients that you need. Are you getting those nutrients from your muffin or coffee? And then I explain the benefits of each option, and I'll explain the aloe that I made for you at our first meeting. That's option B. And then I explain what the protein drink mix entails in terms of that it speeds up the weight loss and that you don't have to use milk and all of these amazing flavors. And then I heard from a coach, then you sit quietly and allow them to make their decision. Very important, whatever they choose, say that's a great choice. Sometimes they may only choose a shake. And so we're not there to pressure people into buying things that they perhaps not in this financial space to afford. Why this next slide is very important. Follow up through an invitation. So immediately after that follow up and discussing the upgraded slide, often people would talk to me about their financial challenges, and many people have financial challenges. So I'd invite them to a Herbalife opportunity meeting or an invitation to a BDS where we can share our loyalty program with them. And this is an opportunity to introduce them to how you could further help them reach their goals. So if they've said to you finance is an issue, now you know that it's time to invite to that HO into a BDS. It's also an opportunity to introduce them to others who have reached similar goals. And I think for me, why I love to bring people to the BBS and the HOM, because I want them to see the bigger picture. I want them to see what's behind the shape that they have in the morning. For me, it's a movement that changes lives on many levels. And then always the follow-up question, which is very important. Not, did you enjoy it? Yes, no, no. But what did you get out of this meeting? So that they bring lots of information. So I think it's very important to follow up on ourselves as health coaches as well. Really important. So set daily, weekly, monthly goals. There's the tracking sheet on the level 10 site. Time management. We're often very busy with so many things, but Herbalife is something that we've chosen to do, and so to allocate specific time for that is so important. I think we have a very golden opportunity, and how we need to use it very responsibly. Have an accountability partner. Meet with your sponsor regularly. I think to have that third eye. When you work in isolation, you often only see what you see. Diarize important follow-up dates. Your own personal development is key. Your own product result is key. And then also remind yourself during those challenging times, and those challenging times come. Why did I join Herbalife? There's that wonderful video that goes around. Have you seen it? That says, why? It starts with, why did you join Herbalife? Remember that, because that's going to drive you. So accountability and follow up on yourself. Next slide, please. So I believe that you are not being authentic and you are not being genuine. You are not being, this word called congruent, means that what I ask of you, I am not implementing in my own life. So we don't have the right to hold somebody else accountable for those standards that you're coaching them towards, and you refuse to apply it to it yourself. I've seen it when I neglect my health goals, when I neglect my personal development. I see how it impacts the relationship. And it's a feeling that I have that I'm not coming from a genuine place. I'm not coming from an authentic place. In fact, I have a mask right now. If I'm not holding myself accountable to the same standards. So follow up with yourself too. Next slide, please. So what do you do when your client does not respond to follow-up or to upgrades? When your client is very excited in the first meeting and suddenly goes quiet? When your client or your member ignores your WhatsApp, ignores you, pretends you've never met, what do you do? Do you scream and shout and get frustrated? Maybe for the first 5 seconds, yes. But what I have learned is, if I am doing this, this is where my why is very important. If I am doing this to help you, if I'm in a helping relationship, then your response to me does not determine whether I continue or not. I continue because I care. I follow up because I care. Planting that seed soul. And I've seen it if someone goes quiet for 6 months, ignores me, and suddenly comes to the surface. Remember, people have a life. They have their own challenges that have absolutely nothing to do with you. So continue to love on a broadcast list, keep them on your email list, and even do a one-on-one follow-up with them. I've even said, can we meet for coffee just to chat? We don't even have to talk about Herbalife. And that tells them that I care, that I understand. And look, we are human beings, so often it does hurt when you are ignored. But just remember why you are doing it. And the final slide then would be follow up. Understand that it takes more than one conversation to be built. An initial conversation is a great start. But the real change comes from those ongoing follow-up conversations. Make the time to make change happen. 100 conversations at a time. If it doesn't happen in the 99th time, then you have another one and another one and another one. And that also impacts on your own personal development as a coach. So my final words to you is have fun building relationships. As your clients grow, so do you grow. That's it. Oh, I had fun doing that.
This was absolutely fantastic, Karen. Thank you so much. There was so much in it, and I must say my compliment. Such a beautiful presentation, so much inspiration, but at the same time so much love, and all these smileys and angels, and I loved it. I mean, I got 23 years now I'm in Herbalife, and I must honestly say I never saw such a follow-up presentation where you brought it so to the point and with so much love and passion around it. I can really feel everything what you said is what you do. And we even have coaches who started as clients in your team, and I can see them smiling. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Bella Italia. So we have Bella Italia on the call, Germany on the call. That's so cool. But Karen, if you don't mind, I would like to open up quickly for questions. Maybe there is the one or the other follow-up question. I know this is often the biggest discussed subject, and I don't want to lose out the opportunity because we still have a couple of minutes to go. So back to everybody who is here on the call to give Karen some feedback, or maybe you went into the call with a specific question tonight which isn't answered yet. So up to you. No questions?
No, but Karen, congratulations to this beautiful presentation. It was really great. I like the slide.
Yeah, I realized why I was so excited, and as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing that follow-up equals relationship.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
And one more thing, I think if you never see that person again, be confident that you've planted something there. You planted that seed.
Mm-hmm. So now I've got one question. When I have a client who has started the program, is on the program for, let's say, 5 or 6 months, and then she says, okay, now she has lost so and so many kilos, and it's okay for her now, and she wants to stop for now. How do you convince her that she really needs one shake a day so that she can keep her weight?
I would then again reiterate the power of our product in her life, and I would probably encourage her to continue, but ultimately I'm going to have to respect her final decision. Perhaps an example is we had someone on the 3-day challenge. They had amazing results, and then they decided to go with another product because it was cheaper. And I sent them the image of that we've been voted number one, the number one meal replacement, and gave her all of that information. But still nothing. She decided to go with the other product because it was cheaper. So I think always just know that you've done your best and not take it personally.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. May I add something to this experience, Doris? It's sometimes also reflecting, did I explain enough the importance of the breakfast? Because sometimes and this is sometimes a big learning curve also, when a customer stops completely with the product, did I emphasize too much on the weight loss, that people are used to just taking 2 shakes diet and have that diet thinking, because a diet has a beginning and an end? Or from the very first time I presented to the person, and did I do in my follow-up also encourage all the time the thinking about how important is the breakfast? And we stick at least always having the shake for breakfast, whatever we do, if we don't feel for having a shake for lunch or dinner, but at least we have the breakfast shake. So that when somebody thinks they have reached now their goal weight, that it's always clear when they go for holiday, that it's always clear when it's Christmas, Easter, that it's always clear they have at least their one shake a day. That it's about getting the nutritional balance basically into your body. And when then somebody still says, but I want to stop now on the shakes, I want to see how I feel without. If I can live without Herbalife, then I say, welcome to the club, no problem. Please make sure that you have saved my telephone number on your phone, because remember, when you didn't have the products on a daily basis, before you came to me, and this is in my notes, you had the cravings all the time for sugary stuff, you were always tired. So understand, your body can only maintain for a certain time the level we have built up now. So very quickly, you will get the cravings again and all of that, because your body is like a flower. It doesn't help when you water the flower once and then for an entire year not. You must give the flower a little bit of water, or the plant a little bit of water every single day or every second, third day to maintain the plant. And you need to nourish the plant. And the same is our body. You need to do on a regular basis, the same like the car needs the petrol. And this is what the people understand. So funny enough, they are sometimes still stubborn, yeah, and say, no, but I want to know now really how I feel. I say, no problem. You know that I still love you. You have my telephone number. And the moment it comes back, you just must be in contact with me. You come back and then we start again. If you believe it or not, these are, and this is what I say to my customer then, these are my best customers who have stopped once and come back to me again because they really understand what it means, healthy nutrition.
Yeah.
So then you never close the door, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just out of my experience. But back to Taryn, and if you have any further question to Taryn.
I have one more, if I may ask. How long do you do the follow-up, or do you extend the time gaps between follow-ups when you have a person that has been a customer for 2 or 3 years already? How often do you do the follow-up with long-time customers?
Okay, so I've only been in the business for a year, but whoever is on the product, I am, depending on where they at, then it is at least a every 21 days, or at least at the minimum a once a month follow-up. I've never left anyone alone unless they said, don't bug me, I just want to take my shake quietly. So 3 follow-ups the rest of the time that they are my client. On the question?
Okay.
Fantastic. Another question? Any more questions? Going once, going twice. If you have more questions, then I just would suggest share them with us on the team chat. I think especially the follow-up questions are very valuable questions all the time on the team chat, because everybody can learn from it. And it's really a continuous process to learn, because we deal with people, and that's the beauty basically in it. Taryn, thank you so much. This was incredible. Thank you for your time, because I know Taryn wears many different hats and is all the time very busy, but all the time when she says yes to something, she delivers really to the point, and you did it again. So thank you very much for everything you did for us tonight, Taryn. And thank you very much to everybody who was on the call tonight, because this shows really that you want to learn more in order to be the best coach out there for your members and for your customers. So have an awesome evening, everybody. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
you.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Thank you again, Bye. Bye-bye.
Absolutely fantastic. Nice to see everybody. Bye-bye.
See you soon.